Alright, so let's quickly run it. Alright, so I think it trained so quickly. I think we don't have really large data. We have about 250 rows, but I think this has been really quick to actually build the model. Now let's do the prediction, right? So the prediction is all about giving the test data, right? So for this model object, we're trying to pass the x underscore test inputs, and which would actually take all the rows within that x underscore test values, and then it is going to give us the ypred values, right? So once we know the ypred values, and we also know the y actual values for the test, right, which is y underscore test. So now that we know y underscore test and y underscore pred, how the prediction, which is how the model has done, we can pass both these values, y underscore test and y underscore pred, to a function called mean squared error, right? So mean squared error basically determines how much error, how much total residual error is there uh, for the predictions that has been done. So if you actually recollect, from the linear regression model that we have seen earlier, the slide, right? So we have the block dots here. These are all the actual parameters, sorry, the actual values, whereas our predictions are on this line, right? That means for this particular point, our prediction is this over here on the line, right? So for this particular point, the prediction is here. So this is actually the residual, right? So what we do is, as we discussed, our real purpose is to actually make sure the residual, some of these residual squares of residuals, we call it. So that's what is the mean squared error, right? So that one is actually computed, and for different lines it is computed, and then the best fit line is chosen by the algorithm. So considering that, so this particular method is going to give us that mean squared error, and it would be also square rooted, and that's what actually is being printed here. But we don't know what is actually whether this is actually best value or not. We don't know. The algorithm has figured out that this is the lowest mean squared error that it could actually get out of plotting these values, right? So our other important factor that we need to consider when we are measuring the accuracy is r square parameter, r square metric, right? So r squared would basically is a parameter that would tell us how efficiently the prediction has happened, right? So the more closer it is to 1, the more efficient our algorithm has been, right? So a value of 0.91 here is indicating that 91% of the times our predictions were going right? So that's what this value is indicating. So long as we have got somewhere closer above 90%, we are doing good, decent, but we need to still look at opportunities for improving further. Excuse me. Right, so let me run this again. So this is what we have got, but we will understand these parameters in depth in a different video, where I will explain the formulae for r squared and mean squared error. We have seen it, but mathematical equations for different parameters, we can look at it. But the whole purpose here is r squared of closer to 1 is what we need to obtain, we need to get to, right? I think this is decent to begin with, right? Now we look at OLS model. OLS model is another popular model using which we could actually fit linear regressions, right? This is implemented by the statsmodel.api. So the way we fit here is we need to add a constant for the x values. In the case of linear regression from sklearn above, we didn't have to add the constant. We could just pass the x test. That's the difference here. So we have to add the constant. So what this means is, if you, any linear regression equation we have, consider the simple one, which is y is equal to mx plus c. So that c is the constant, which is actually is a coefficient that needs to be determined as well, right? That's the intercept coefficient that needs to be determined. So here with stats model API, it expects that to be added. So we are adding it here, and then we are actually calling the sm.ols method by passing the y train and x train values. It's somewhat similar, but here it expects the y values before and the x values later, so slightly different, right? And then we would fit it like what we have done earlier with linear regression as well. After that, we could actually fit a summary of the model. So like I said, OLS gives a lot of parameters, very detailed, in-depth parameters that could be analyzed much more deeper later. We will do a separate video. but we will predict also the you know sorry, yeah, so we will also do the X test and Y test predictions here, like how the model has been performing. So let me first do that, and then we'll come to the parameters. I will give a quick summary of it, but we will do a different video as well. So now that I have executed this code, this is printing the summary. We have too many columns because we had too many rows here, because for each column it is printing the statistics of the coefficients and all that stuff. So this is really huge, but we will review it. All right, so now let's let's predict using our X test, right? So this is how we have to pass the X test, by adding constant. Remember, for the X train we added the constant, so for X test also we have to add the constant, and then we have to pass this to this, right? And if we now run, we are also printing the mean squared error and R square value for this, right? So even this one we have got close to 91% R squared value, which is healthy again, right? Both these models have been doing well with respect to accurately predicting for the test values that we have taken, right? All right, friends, so on the model summary, few important parameters that we normally look at is, as I was saying, R squared and adjusted R squared. So these values are really important in the context of multiple linear regression, right? Especially adjusted R squared is the parameter that we use for multiple linear regression. And then the other important parameters are for each and every coefficient here, and what is listed here is the column values, and then the constant is the intercept. So for all these column values, it lists the coefficient and the standard error with respect to the coefficient, right? So it is also important to visualize them, right? So if we got the good R squared, but then if the errors are really huge, or if the probability of the parameter being significant, this value here, p greater than t here, so what this is indicating is, what is the probability that this is this parameter is significant, right? So it is supposed to be less than 0.05 in most cases. So we are seeing that there are different parameters where the probabilities or the insignificance is high. So we will look at how to treat them in future videos, but in general there is a mix of results here, where there are some significant coefficients as well as some insignificant parameters as well. So that's what we normally infer from the linear regression model summaries. But we will have a future video where we will review how do we actually take these different probability values, and how do we further optimize this model to get to a much more higher efficiency from this linear regression model that we have built. So that's a quick summary of how we would take we would implement a linear regression model. I really hope you learned something out of this video, going through different phases and performing various stages and building the model and analyzing the model towards the end. So like I promised, we will come up with more advanced concepts in future on optimizing these algorithms. So stay tuned. Thank you very much for watching these videos. I hope you are really liking them. So I will see you in the next series. Thank you.